I was born into a Shelbourne family, first of all. My father, his brothers, and my brothers were all Shelbourne supporters, and I was the youngest. Well, I was born in 1937, and as I believe I would have attended my first games as soon as I got registered in school, which meant I was toilet trained, if you like, so therefore they took me to, that was Shelbourne Park now, what's now known as the dog track, but that was Shelbourne Park off the Ringsend Road. One of the names given to Shelbourne is the Dockers team. My father was a Docker. One of the great players of Shelbourne Football Club was Val Harris, who was a Docker. I remember walking along Pierce Street, going from our own home to my father's mother in Mackin Street. And as we passed along, this big man said, "Hello, Billy," to my father. And later he said to me, "You know who that was? That was Val Harris." Our great hero was Eddie Gannon, because he was, among other things, he was a neighbour, but also he was an excellent player. That's why he was signed. He was signed by Sheffield Wednesday, and then they eventually, shortly after, won promotion from the second division to the first, and he was one of their heroes at that time, and our hero as well. And then when he finished playing over there, he came back and he was player manager for us for a while. So again, he was our hero. Roughly 20 years ago, Shelbourne were playing Sheffield Wednesday, and I wrote an article for the programme, very first one I wrote, because it was the attachment of Eddie Gannon, Sheffield Wednesday, and Shelbourne. And initially, the editor thought it has nothing to do with Shelbourne, but it was, and he published it in the programme, and then asked me would I do a few more. So I'd always had the writing bug. Well, I always have. I've always believed in preserving history. You look around, you say, well, what did happen, you know? And it's good to have it all documented, ready for people to use if they want to. Well, as I've said, I've been doing programme articles for approximately 20 years. So in some cases it was a matter of gathering them together, changing them here and there if necessary, and just thought that there was a book there. But Shelbourne, in their case, it was a lot of the local lads down around Bath Avenue. Bath Avenue is just off the top of Shelbourne Road. So they were near Beggars Bush Barracks. Beggars Bush Barracks had an influx of young soldiers, and they were bringing this new sport of football. But anyway, these lads were playing all these friendlies, and they were arranging one with the lads from the barracks, and the barracks, after arranging whatever it was, they said to them, "What's the name of your team?" And they'd never given the team a name. It was just a team. And the story is that they looked up and saw the road sign that said Shelbourne Road. So they said Shelbourne. Now there are other variations. I have it in the book. There's people dispute that to some extent, not completely, but to some extent. But that's where it went from after that. James Rowan, there he is there. The original secretary, he was footballer as well himself, but he managed to get the whole place going, get it organised. The story is that to register with the Leinster Football Association at that time, himself and two or three others walked from Bath Avenue to Finglas. Now Finglas was out in the country at that time, to make sure the team was registered properly with the secretary at that time. But he was really the power behind the whole thing, and as I say, if necessary, even lodged players in his own house for a week or two to get them signed and get them settled in, and as a result we became a power in Irish football. So, but he laid the foundations. The club wouldn't be here otherwise. I think there's no doubt about that. Well, it's our league. It's our league. I mean, I've relatives in England, and I've been to most of the grounds over there, and I've enjoyed them. And you see people in certain clubs now, and you see almost boatloads of people going over. And I'd like to say to them, like, but do you support a local team? By all means, follow the other teams if you want to, but do you support a local team? I think that's sad. There's good football, there's enjoyable evenings and so forth, but I think we could combine the whole lot together. I'm glad to say I was at Barcelona recently. I have a nephew living over there, and I went over and he got tickets for the match, and I saw Messi play with Barcelona, so that was great. And I remember talking to an old uncle of mine who wasn't in good health. He died fairly shortly after, and he was saying, Shelbourne, we never had much luck. I said, you must be joking, we never had much. but that's the way it was, that's part of the struggle. As I say, some clubs might have it too easy. We never had.